Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon FanArt. As you can guess, again we're looking at some more Powermon from DarkSilvania's collection. Today we're going to be kind of looking at Pokemon based on religion, I would guess you could say. I'm assuming they are. All based off of, Pokemon that are influenced by, I believe it's the Christian religion, but I'm not exactly sure. First off, looking at 7 sins, which are obviously the 7 sins referenced in Christianity. And I assume a couple of other religions as well. Not too good at that stuff, but yeah, let's get on with it. First off, looking at the sin of envy. We have Mudane first up, who is a normal type and the jealous Pokemon. Mudane is a very problematic Pokemon. He is well known for his envious behaviour, always wanting what other Pokemon have, only to take the attention of the crowd. He can steal, lie, cheat, or even attack, so he can take what he wants from others. Only a very determined trainer can handle a Mudane. Despite his behaviour, this Pokemon is very strong, and his one hard arm is very dangerous. So the design for Mudane, it's a bit plain. I'm not exactly sure what the green bit around his waist is. Not really at all. Might be referencing the jealous or envy bit, because sometimes green is related to that and such. But obviously the face is looking very much like an envious face, a jealous face, stuff like that. So yeah. And the evolution for this Pokemon, it will evolve into its evolution, which is Canivia, when it learns Bone Club. So here we have Canivia. It's a normal ghost type and is the envy Pokemon. Canivia is called the cursed Pokemon. There's a legend about the first Canivia in the world. It's not very clear due to his antique, but it says that Canivia committed a horrible crime upon its whole species. Due to this, Canivia was cursed by Arceus itself, becoming half alive, half dead, always wandering, marked forever as a punishment. Canivia try always to have others' attention. If other Pokemon possess something that makes them special, he wants it, and he can react in violent ways if he can't have it. So again, a sort of a simple design, but obviously, as we said, he was cursed by Arceus, so now he's now half dead, which is where the ghost type comes in, and also, we can see the half the body is purple, and he's got it's not an arm as such, it's more of a bone with teeth on it, looks like. Which is obviously why the evolution comes from with Bone Club. And you can see he's also got the skull on his other shoulder as well, and another big arm and hand there. So again, the designs look very good. I like it indeed. It keeps a similar face design from Mudane, but that's alright. So yeah, these two as a whole, I like it. General good jealous envy thing, I suppose. So let's move on. The next sin we're going to look at is the sin of gluttony, starting off with Basculon. Basculon is a water ghost type and the big mouth Pokemon. Basculon travel alone in the ocean looking for something to eat. The English isn't necessarily good on these descriptions here. Looking for something to eat and leave a waking fog on the surface after him, so they are easy to follow. This Pokemon only goes up to the surface during night times, where it can be seen surrounded by clouds of fog. He can float over the water surface in the fog thanks to supernatural powers. So, looking at the design here, you can sort of see where the gluttony comes from. Gluttony is, eating too much or having too much. So obviously, eating, being big, stuff like that. So the design, obviously, ghost comes from the fog, really, and then water because it's a whale. But yeah, I like the design. Sort of got some essence of dark and stuff, dark colours used, which is obviously good because we're talking about sins here, so they're kind of like ghost dark types, even if they aren't, which obviously one of these is, but yeah. So yeah, let's move on. It will evolve into its evolution, which is Glutarchian, upon learning Swallow. Now, Glutarchian is also a water ghost type, and the gluttony Pokemon. Glutarchian is feared among sailors due to its huge size and voracious appetite, being so big and hungry they can eat a whole fishing ship on its own. The legend says this Pokemon is the manifestation of the souls of those who die from hunger upon the sea. This Pokemon creates spectral fog banks, where he floats, swimming in the fog. Sometimes wild Nortra skulls and Scurvivines enter in his fog banks, and he eats them. Now, there are obviously some other Powermon from DarkSilvania's collection. I don't know where they are, so we'll have to just imagine their Pokemon. Probably fish of some sort, I guess. So yeah, I love the design for this Pokemon. Obviously, all the fog is growing a bit larger there. Its mouth is growing so much bigger, and he's got kind of gills opening on the side of his mouth, which is really cool. I definitely like that a lot. And you can imagine it would be as big as, if not bigger than a whale lord. So that's very dangerous, especially if it's eating whole ships itself. So you can imagine it's definitely a Pokemon you wouldn't want to meet on the ocean. So let's move on to the next sin, which is the sin of greed. Starting off with Gluttony. Gluttony is a dark flying type and the guardian Pokemon. Gluttony is a very curious Pokemon who likes to seek for shining objects. When they find one, they like to pass hours watching it and will attack anyone who tries to take it away from them. They like to sleep during the day and are very active during the nighttime. Now, obviously, it's to do with greed, so obviously taking sort of like blackbirds. I'm guessing there's a lot of inspiration taken from here. Also ravens, it looks like. But you can see here that it looks like a dark flying type, obviously. The design is good, I think, especially the raven sort of head or the magpie head. One of those, whichever one it is, I can't remember which one it is that steals shiny stuff, but yeah, you get what I'm saying there. Nice premise as well, and Gluttony will evolve to its evolution, which is Graveend, when they learn Payday, which makes sense, as Payday is to do with money. So Graveend is a dark flying type also, and the greed Pokemon. Graveend love anything that shines, from simple crystal pieces to gold and jewels. They fly during the night and use their powerful sight to seek for shiny things. When they find something, they take it even if they have to steal it or fight for it. It is very well known that they attack other Graveends to take these shiny things. They store them in the nest inside mountain caves and even protect them with their own lives. Legends say that when a treasure is found, a Graveend won't be far. Ooh. So yeah, again, obviously, looking like a raven or some sort. I also think it's taking some inspiration from griffins, which are like, I think they're lions and eagles' eye. So sort of like that. Apart from instead of a lion, you've got a raven sort of thing, and it sort of looks like a griffin, I think. Again, the design, the colouring is good. I love it. I think I'd like to see this Pokemon in a game as well. It's got a good design, good sort of premise. You can imagine it being, near Pokeballs and that. When you find a Pokeball in a cave, it might, attack you, something like that. That sort of premise. So yeah, let's move on to the next sin. Here we have the sin of pride. Starting off with Handera. It's a Steel Dark type and the Reflex Pokemon. Handera show false images to their trainers about themselves, just to create confusion and even scare them, only as a joke, so they gain the nickname of the Lying Mirror. Otherwise, when two Handeras meet, they show real reflections of each other as a sign of friendship. That's nice. Again, the design looks great here. You can see kind of the face and obviously the mirror in the centre. And obviously Handera, because it's like a hand mirror, not a proper big one. And obviously about pride, so sin of pride. I think it's like if you take too much pride in yourself, it's a sin. So obviously that's what the mirror comes in for. And Handera will evolve into Meridiel when it learns Mirror Code. Again, making sense. So Meridiel is the pride Pokemon, also a Steel Dark type, and is a very insidious Pokemon. They wait for people to look into them, and Meridiel make them see themselves more graceful than they are, just to inflate their egos and create conflicts. This Pokemon's body is incredibly sturdy and has great endurance and resistance. This Pokemon has the power to reflect any attack from his opponents and counter-strike him. Now it actually has a special ability, unlike the others. It's called Reflection. When Meridiel enters in a battle, he copies his opponent's stats, becoming as strong as it is, so a very dangerous Pokemon, I'm guessing. The design on this one looks great as well, obviously a big mirror this time, but I love the design of the hands and definitely the feet, and the face as well looks awesome. It's just really badass. I like it a lot. So we'll move on, shall we? Next up is the Sin of Sloth, or the Sin of Sloth, whichever way you want to say it. Starting off with Volcolop. It's a rock psychic type and the slumber Pokemon. This Pokemon never wakes up. All his actions are controlled by the subconscious side of his mind, with help of his psychic powers, from movements to transporting and even fighting. Inside, Volcolop burns a weak fire, but if his rest is disturbed, it can make eruption. So, talking about sleeping all the time, making sense really. It looks very good, because it's obviously a sleeping Pokemon, you can see. Its face is kind of like, just hidden behind his hand sort of thing. So it looks very good, Evo. And it will evolve into Vesubloth, its evolution, when it learns Rest, again obviously referencing the Sloth. So Vesubloth is also a rock psychic type and the Sloth Pokemon. The legend says that Vesubloth possesses one of the most destructive powers inside him. The rage of thousands of volcanoes burns within without stopping day and night. That's why he entered a deep slumber that no one has ever seen, something like that, I don't know. While he was asleep, his body gets as hard as rock, but his mind becomes so powerful that it covers the necessity of both body and mind. He never opens his eyes and never will, because if he wakes up, according to the legend, he will unleash the power of a massive catastrophe of epic biblical proportions. So I don't really like that story as much, because we're talking about Sloth here being lazy sort of thing. So I think it would have worked a bit better if it was a intended sleep sort of thing, as rather than a you have to sleep otherwise you destroy everything in the world. sort of thing. But I like the design though. You can see obviously it's based on volcano, and you got burning smoke coming out of all of it. It looks very good. It isn't a fire type, but I can see why it's not, because it's not exactly using fire type moves. It's more about the rock for the body and the psychic for the mind. So let's move on. Next up we have the Sin of Lust, starting off with Lollydona. It's a grass poison type and the attractive Pokemon. This Pokemon possesses a very dependent personality with its trainers, especially men, at the point it can be seen as something wrong. They even compete with other people and Pokemon for the attention and affection of them. They are extremely skilled in combat and are very dangerous due to their poison. Now, the design for this one looks pretty good. You know, you can see here it's obviously graceful. It's meant to be a pretty Pokemon because Lust, you know, to do with beauty and stuff like that. You can see the rosy cheeks sort of thing, eyes, hair, and then the dress, obviously. So yeah, very good. And it will evolve into its evolution Bellustona when it learns Attract, which, you know, makes sense a lot. Bellustona, is also a grass poison type and the Lust Pokemon. This Pokemon is well known for their seductive behaviour, and they like to be surrounded by the attention of humans and Pokemons by the same. She attracts them with a unique scent that comes from the 2 fruits they have in their chest. Well, that's obviously a reference to breasts. It only affects males. By the other side, she is very jealous in presence of other women or female Pokemon, and she can use very powerful and poisonous attacks against them. So again, looking like a beautiful Pokemon sort of thing, something you definitely, you know, what you'd expect to represent lust and such. So yeah, let's move on to the next sin, and the last sin actually, the Sin of Wrath. Now we have starting off with Incinerage. We have it's a firefighting type and the Outrage Pokemon. Incinerage is known by his explosive behaviour, but he tries to stay calm, but always gets angry and reacts in very dangerous ways, usually attacking anybody around him until his rage stops and calms down again. When he can stay focused, his fighting type moves are precise and smart, but usually when he gets mad, his fighting style is just destructive and very powerful, so it's a very hard opponent. The skull in his chest serves as a sign of precaution to any Pokemon around him. Now yes, it's a firefighting type, but I'm fine with it since it's not a starter Pokemon. Looks very good here, sort of based on a monkey I think, but a different type of monkey than Infinite sort of thing. But yeah, I like the design overall, and it will evolve into its evolution, which is Retitan, when it learns Rage, which, you know, makes sense because it's Wrath. So Retitan is also a firefighting type and the Wrath Pokemon. Retitan is probably the most vicious fighting Pokemon in all of the Crow region, which is the fake region they made up, and even in all the world. He lives in a constant rage, seeking opponents everywhere to fight it, and releases rage and frustration, always leaving a trail of defeated opponents behind him. His muscles are always tense, and a simple hit of his limbs can break bones. This Pokemon only listens to his trainer, but always keeps a grumpy mood. His body is decorated with skulls attributed to defeated opponents, so obviously a very dangerous Pokemon. You won't want to mess with him really, because he obviously seems to be very powerful. Yeah, overall the design looks great here as well. Again, not like Infinite as much, or Emboar even, because Emboar is nice and, you know, bulky. This is, you know, yeah, sort of mixed between Emboar and Infinite, I think I would say. But yeah, so those are the sins, and we have one more set now. These are the 7 heavenly virtues, and there's one to combat each sin, pretty much, the opposite. So it's Vertizers. Vertizer is a light type. Vertizers are very mysterious Pokemon. They are rarely seen and almost impossible to see altogether. When they were first discovered, scientists believe they were all different Pokemon species. They are often seen in temples and ruins. Some myths say each one of them appears at a specific situation. So there's you know, one to combat each. These heavenly virtue to combat. Lust is chastity, which is represented by a cow and is blue. The Glust is combated by abstinence, which is a pig and orange. Pride is combated by humility, which is represented by a horse, being violet. Sloth being combated by diligence, referenced and shown by a goat and light blue coloured. Greed is combated by charity, being shown by a frog, being yellow. And then we have wrath being combated by being patient, and that's represented by a bear, being red. And then envy is combated by kindness, and then is represented by a dog, being green. Now I don't know if I would like it to have like separate lines for each different virtue, like to combat the different ones, but obviously the creator didn't bother to go for that. But I still like this concept of having like 7 different ones sort of thing, you know, to collect them all really. It's sort of like Unknown, but less you know, less challenging, I guess you could say. And obviously you can make it like they only appear once certain conditions have been met, so like they only appear when you haven't given your Pokemon items for a while, you know, that'd be abstinence. Something like that, you know what I'm getting at there. But yeah, the designs for these all look good. They also all got wings on the back because they're heavenly virtues and they're represented by angels and stuff. And they've all got similar feet, or not similar feet, but similar feet attributed to their animal. Like the horse has hooves, the cow has sort of hooves with lines in them, etc. But yeah, and obviously they all have faces and similar ears, which is nice, and a similar body shape. But yeah, I like this line overall. I think I'm going to have to end the episode here, guys, because we have gone on for a long time. So if you've lasted this long, well done to you. You should definitely leave a like on the video below. You should definitely leave a like on the video below. Speak clearly, me. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'll be seeing you in the next fan art. Leave your thoughts on the Pokemon down below. Bye.